Live from our studios here at Rage in Accra, the Akua Bohima studio, very live and active on social media, on Facebook and YouTube at Metro TV Ghana, on Twitter and Instagram at Metro TV GH. I am Bright Nanakwesi Amini. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Government parries claims by former Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu that President Akufo-Addo is scheming to undermine the 2024 elections following shake-up in the national security apparatus. We'll tell you more. The Tertiary Student Confederacy TESCON suspends its activities on the Tamale Technical University campus following the arrest and subsequent release of their president for comment that the Northern Regional Minister didn't shower before meeting President Akufo-Addo. In business, a group calling itself the Ghana International and Finance Conference is urging member states of the African Continental Free Trade Area to consider using cryptocurrency as a form of trading. And also on the international front, a look at Kenya, where the election results are yet to be announced and voters are anxious. Details on this coming up here on the news tonight. Stay with us. Thank you for joining us here on the news tonight. First in the bulletin, government parries claims by former Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu that President Akufo-Addo is scheming to undermine the 2024 elections following shake-up in the national security apparatus. Okay, and also we'll be speaking to government spokesperson on security and governance, Power Group Wachidankwa, and also security analyst Adep Sani. But first, here is exactly what was stated by former Special Prosecutor Mr. Martin Amidu. And as you can see on your screen, it says, subsequently upon his assumption of office as the President of Ghana on the 7th of January 2017, Nana Akufo-Addo activated his long game to break the 8 at the 2024 presidential election. He determined to ensure that by the middle of his second term in office, all the instruments of law enforcement, state security and intelligence power of the Republic of Ghana should be led by persons with proven political dedication and loyalty to his person and his family and friends. Subsequently, upon his assumption of office, as I told you earlier, that he wants people who will be loyal to his person, his family, and also his friends to be occupied in some government space, especially the security space. Now, the appointment by President of Mr. Edward Asumani, Deputy National Security Coordinator, to act as National Security Coordinator with effect from Monday, 8th August 2022, subject to the confirmation of his appointment to the receipt of the constitutionally required advice of the National Security Council, given in consultation with the Public Service Commission, gives finality to Nana Akufo-Addo's long game to capture the National Security Secretariat apparatus towards his electoral agenda for the 2024 parliamentary and presidential elections. Also, the president, by the same press release, also appointed Nana Atobra Kweko, Deputy Director General of the NIB, to act with effect from Monday, 8th August 2022 as Director General of National Intelligence Bureau, with this confirmation also being subject to the receipt of the constitutionally required advice of the National Security Council, given in consultation with the Public Service Commission as part of Nana Akufo-Addo's long game to capture the National Intelligence Bureau apparatus towards his electoral agenda for next elections, parliamentary and presidential elections. Statement by former special prosecutor and the first special prosecutor in Ghana, Martin Amidu. I've now been joined in studio by government spokesperson on security and governance, and also security analyst Adep Sani. And Pagru Bachidankwa is our guest for tonight from the side of government. Good evening to you, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Right.
Welcome
It's
to
good
this
to be
night.
here. Thank you very much.
Let me start with you, Pagru Bachidankwa. Give me your initial reaction from the statement.
Bright, a very good evening to you and to Abib and to your viewers. I think that these are very serious allegations that government cannot be blinded to. It's a deep concern that the respected lawyer, Martin Amidu, can really raise such allegations without any proof whatsoever to the leadership and integrity of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We have been in this country. We have seen very well that elections are managed from the Electoral Commission with all political parties that are involved. If anyone on any day has any reason to think that any election is either rigged or not performed in the right manner, the Supreme Court has been the channel that we have used. In 2012, I recall, when the MPP lost the elections, we went to the Supreme Court to get finality. In 2020, the NDC did the same. And so it is really a very serious allegations. And I think that it's important that we call the respected Martin Amidu to really bring the proof and the evidence, because he's a lawyer. In the law of courts, there is no way you can take anyone to the court without having evidence. And these are allegations that our government cannot take lightly at all. It's either he comes back to retract these words, apologize to the good people of this country, or to bring evidence to prove otherwise.
Adep, I'll come to you, but let me still stay with you, Pagru Bachidankwa. Now, I have here, and it says the two names in contention, Edward Kweku Asumeni and Nana Atobra Kweku, are said to be product of Dankwa Institute, hence a ploy by the president to facilitate his break the 8 mantra. True.
And another preposterous statement. If persons go to University of Ghana and they are products of University of Ghana, does that bar them from having an opportunity to work? The president is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The president appoints the chief of defense staff. The president appoints the IGP. The president appoints all the heads of the security services. And so why are these two persons being isolated? For me, it's an issue that should not even come to the matter of the table to be discussed. These two persons have been working in the security service for a very long time. If Mr. Martin Amidu cares to know, Mr. Asumeni used to be the Deputy National Security Coordinator. And then also he used to be the head of analysis. And so this is someone who has been within the national security apparatus. I'm not sure whether Mr. Martin Amidu is aware of that. Likewise, Mr. Atobra as well has been with NIB for a very long time as the deputy director. And now the president has sought his wise to promote him. And then Mr. Martin Amidu says that these are cronies of friends and family. These are very serious allegations, and I don't think that the Ghanaian people at this stage of our development, and especially with the issues that we are being confronted with in the sub-region of West Africa, would have someone of his caliber and nature purport such high claims against the president of the country. I think that we should be able to disregard it with the greatest contempt that he deserves.
Adep Sani, now, when the president announced the appointment of these persons to occupy this space, I spoke to here on this night. He told me that these appointments are politically influenced. Do you still stand by that?
Yes. And I saw it coming, by the way. I spoke with a number of friends within the national security. I told them it almost appears as if Mr. Asumeni is being groomed to take over. Because at the point, we're not even seeing General Francis Amanfo again. Even during what do we call it, See Something, Say Something campaign and visits to the north by the National Security Minister, you'd see Mr. Edward Asumeni. And it almost looked like General Francis was out of the picture. And so for me, it wasn't surprising. But we need to ask some, fundamental questions, okay? Has the president done anything illegal by appointing these individuals? No. If you have issues with it, then I think rather you should have issues with the Constitution. Because the Constitution currently in place looks like more like seeking to preserve a regime rather than preserve the people. And that is how it's almost been since the inception of the Fourth Republic, particularly perhaps Rawlings of blessed memory wanted to preserve his regime in the wake of attempted coups and the manner in which he came to power and all that. So you have almost the who and who of Ghanaian society appointed by the president, not just this president, past presidents who have come before him, okay? Secondly, another question is whether we have proof that indeed this is to make them break the eight. It might look so on the face value, but in legal, within the prism of legality, they say he who alleges must prove, and that is what we are unable to do right now. But my issue has got to do with the fact that we have career intelligence officers who are already on the job for years on end, who have better operational know-how and skill set than Mr. Asumeni. I am not in any way opining that he knows nothing about security, okay? But I think that there are some individuals who are on the job, who were on the job, and who have done great things in the past. For example, General Francis has been within the security space for over 30 years. We have people like Timothy Coleman, who was the deputy at the NIB in charge of administration at the time. Nana Atubra was the deputy in charge of operations. Okay, so I think that we had more capable hands within the NIB and the National Security Secretariat who could have done a better job.
Aside these names you've mentioned, or the names that have been mentioned by the president, this is your last words I'm actually taking. Aside these names given by the president, who do you believe would have been better to occupy that space?
For example, with the National Intelligence Bureau, I mean, based on the information I have gathered about Timothy Coleman, I mean, I have a number of friends there. I don't know the gentleman in question, okay? But I have a lot of friends there who have, singled him out as a potential head of the NIB. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And I think that General Francis, even though age might not really be on his side, could have still performed better than being at the Accra Initiative. And I also find it quite interesting that now General Francis would have to report to his former subordinates. I mean, it's something that really doesn't make so much sense to me.
Right.
But that notwithstanding, there are some career people on the ground, but all is not lost. We have support mechanisms, and I'm hoping that they would support the two gentlemen so they can, achieve.
Thank you, son. Paul Grieve, a quick one. Is this the start of the reshuffling Ghanaians have been asking for?
The president holds the right on who he appoints, either as minister, deputy minister, CEOs, deputy CEOs, MC, DCEs. The president decides when and how he wants to do a reshuffle. And we are very confident, as the president has stated, that all persons within his government, he has an opportunity to review their work every now and then. And I'm very confident that the issues that have happened in terms of the change is really important for government, it's important for the country, it's important for the sub-region. And I would like to state that the Accra Initiative, which was started as an initiative by the President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he was ECOWAS chair, was to be able to gather intelligence within the sub-region. And in what time and moment would you not have the former National Security Coordinator spearhead the leadership of the Accra Initiative under the office of the president?
All right.
Because we are in no normal times, especially when terrorism is on the rise. And I think that in every sphere of life, there is a moment of mentoring, regardless of where you find yourself. Countries mentor countries, and individuals mentor individuals. And so in that process, I believe that the president has made one of the best decisions that is in the interest of the Ghanaian people.
All right, thank you so much, Pargrave. And Pargrave Bachidankwa is a spokesperson for governance and security here in Ghana, and Adib Sani is a security analyst and also expert in international affairs. We'll bring more update on this as the story unfolds. I read from that for now. A 29-year-old woman in the Western North community of Oforikrom, close to Sariboy in the Wassa and Menfi West municipality, has allegedly burnt a 3-year-old daughter with hot water. The 3-year-old, according to residents, misplaced an amount of 8 Ghana cedis, leading to the action of the mother. The daughter has sustained varied degrees of injury from burns. The Sariboy police station has released the suspect after he was earlier arrested. The 3-year-old girl is unable to walk as the effect of the hot water was severe on her. We are now joined on phone by our correspondent on this beat. And Afin, good evening to you. What more can you report?
Okay, so information that we gathered from Amenfi West, that is Western region, but not Western North region. Amenfi West indicates that the woman by name Enyo, Madam Enyo, has intentionally put her 3-year-old daughter on a hot water, which has caused the small girl very much pains. Information that we gathered from the neighboring peoples, those who stay around the woman, said that they heard that the woman was insulting the little daughter for missing or misplacing a sandal that she bought 8 cedis. So it was out of anger that the woman did this to the little daughter. From the woman, she said it was not intentionally that she put or she poured this hot water on her little girl, but she hit this water just to use it to clear the sore. The woman said the little girl has some sores at her buttocks, so she cooked this hot water to heal the sores at the little girl's buttocks. But it was quite unfortunate that it happened this way, but because it was not intentional. But those who live around where the woman says that that was never true, because they heard the woman quarreling, talking to the little girl, insulting the little girl that she has misplaced a sandal that she just bought for her. So it was out of anger that this woman put this little girl on the hot water that has caused this girl this very serious pains.
Thank you.
Currently, the little girl is unable to walk, is unable to sit, in fact, is unable to even sleep. There's a lot of things that this little girl is going through. Very, very bad issue.
And Nana Fane is our correspondent, bringing us up to speed what is happening to the 3-year-old girl who has burns on her body due to some unhealthy behaviors from the mother. We'll bring him on that later. Away from that for now, some education issues. The Tertiary Student Confederacy of the Tamale Technical University has suspended all activities on campus over the arrest of its president, Saibu Afar Yaba. The president was arrested after he posted on Facebook that the Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Sani Al-Hassan didn't take his bath before meeting the president on his recent tour of the region. There is more in the flow report.
The TESCON president was arrested on the night of Wednesday, July 10, 2022, after he made a Facebook comment to the effect that Alhaji Sani Al-Hassan, the regional minister, did not take his bath when he led a delegation to welcome President Akufo-Addo during his visit to the region. The TESCON president was also accused of attacking a young lady who also commented on the said Facebook post, a claim the TESCON leadership rejected, saying the president has never met the lady and couldn't have been the one who attacked her.
We wish to state it clear and in ambiguous terms that this unlawful arrest was orchestrated by the regional minister, Honorable Shani Al-Hassan Saibu. It's true. Since his car, that is the V8 Ashkala, was used to perpetrate the illegality, we want to bring to the notice of the party that if TESCON members continue to go through this kind of inhumane treatment, we will be forced to suspend party activities
Every activity
on this campus. We therefore demand an immediate and unqualified apology from the party at large.
After thanking the MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Japan, and the national chairman Stephen Ntim for ensuring that the TESCOM president was released from the police cells, they declared all party activities suspended on campus until further notice.
However, wish to acknowledge and thank honorable member of parliament for the Asin Central constituency. That is Honorable Kennedy Ajapo. Not also forgetting national chairman for the party, Mr. Stephen Ntim,
hard-working chairman,
and the national organizer to ensure our president was released from the police cells yesterday. We hereby stand here to tell all party members across Tamale Technical University to stand down from operations until we hear from the party.
A member of TESCON, Al-Hassan Issa, has called on the regional minister not to forget what the young men and women of TESCON went through just to ensure that the party won the 2020 elections in the region.
Our president, he will never do such a thing. It was mere an allegation. They used the lady as a cover up to polish the regional minister's name. So, and we are putting this message across to the regional minister. It is the groundwork that is working for the party. We suffered for the party in 2020 election. We stood against NDC members during the coalition of the results. But this is the kind of things that they are paying to us. We as the TESCOM members, I am telling you, we are suspending all TESCOM activities in the northern region.
And away from that, authorities of the Commonwealth Hall have cancelled all celebrations and processions by the students of the hall following clashes between the Commonwealth and Mensa Saba Hall. Here are details of the statement. On your screen it says, this is to inform all residents of Commonwealth Hall that all forms of celebrations in the hall have been cancelled until further notice. There should be no processions from the hall to any part of the university or outside the University of Ghana campus. Any student found processing from Commonwealth Hall will be severely sanctioned, signed and sealed by Professor P. Shreme, who is a senior tutor. Away from that, now the Ghana Journalists Association has described as unlawful the Ada Traditional Council's move to blacklist the Radio Ada from covering the 2022 Asafo Tufiam Festival. At a news conference in Accra, President of the association, Albert Kwabena Jumfuo, said the decision is an affront to press freedom.
Of the mandate of the media per the Constitution is to ensure accountability and touch on issues that undermine development. But to the Ada Traditional Council, the Ada-based radio station, Ada FM, is allegedly overstepping its bounds. The council has since barred the trusted voice of the people of Ada for over 2 decades from covering the biggest festival on the Ada and Ga-Dangbe enclave. The ban deters the community radio from covering any event by the council, thus in recent time, the Asafo Tufiame. To this, the Ghana Journalists Association says the move is an affront to press freedom.
The GJ believes the imposition of restriction on the radio station and its reporters is unjustifiable. In fact, it is an affront to press freedom as guaranteed in Article 21, 1A, and F of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and Article 19 of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. With all due respect, the Ada Traditional Council does not have the right or powers to impose such restrictions on Radio Ada and its staff.
The president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Kwabena Jumfuo, outlined some interventions to resolve the impasse between the station and the chiefs.
On the way forward, the GJ calls on the Ada Traditional Council not to take the law into their own hands and that it should endeavor to use the due process of law to address its concerns. The council must also refrain from actions that have the tendency to endanger the lives of the radio station and its staff. We also advise Radio Ada and its staff to refrain from using insulting or unacceptable language in the discharge of their duties. They should endeavor to exhibit high professional standards at all times. We, however, encourage them to continue to discharge their constitutional mandate as provided in Article 162(5) of the 1992 Constitution, to hold the responsibility and accountability of the government to the people of Ghana.
He is, however, optimistic that the National Media Commission will find a lasting solution to the friction between the two parties.
The Inspector General of Police, George Ekufu Dampare, has called on Ghanaians to desist from negatively criticizing the police service. According to him, continuously bad-mouthing the police discourages them and emboldens criminals, urging Ghanaians to offer constructive criticisms to help empower the police service. We will bring that story later here on the news. But for now, on a quick break, we will be back. Stay with us. Welcome back, and let's go back to the police quarters where the Inspector General of Police, George Ekufu Dampare, has called on Ghanaians to desist from negatively criticizing the police service. According to him, continuously bad-mouthing the police discourages them and emboldens criminals, urging Ghanaians to offer constructive criticisms to help empower the police service.
We don't have a system in this country where you can easily use to identify people. So you need to get these people arrested one or the other, using some way beyond imagination and understanding. And thereafter, use the same people to help you to identify the addict. And at times when you are identifying them on the stretch of the operation, and you have, say, about 6 bulletproof vests, and you are 10 people going, people at times expect us to give them bulletproof vests to the criminals, who are going to help us to show the place, so that we go without the proof. So that when we wear and go with them and conduct the operations, and at times in the midst of exchange of fire, that person passes on. Then the person comes and somebody is in your custody. How can we die? Because we don't understand the dynamics and we have not taken our time to ask the serious questions. If we have all the databases to identify people, you mention his name, his hometown, and just go and find out. You, the person I've arrested, just be at it. But it will take only you, in our current environment, to help me identify the people we need. And on this operation, some of our people have to behave like madmen in communities. Some of them have to do suicide.
On the University of Health and Allied Sciences has inducted into office its first female vice-chancellor and registrar. At the ceremony to officially usher in the pair, President Akufo-Addo said government will commit more resources to boost the human resource base of the 10-year-old university.
The University of Health and Allied Sciences started operations in September 2012 with 154 students. Currently, its student population, according to Chairman of the Council, Justice Jones Doche, is 7,678, while the staff strength is 891. The university is wholly dedicated to the training of healthcare professionals in Ghana. Professor Lydia Ziato and Ya Amankwa Upuni will now be heading the institution as the first female vice-chancellor and registrar respectively. Professor Lydia Ziato, a nurse by profession, is touted as the first nurse vice-chancellor in West Africa and second in an African institution. Chairman of the council encouraged the new leaders to support the growth of the university. The vice-chancellor, Professor Lydia Ziato, while sharing her vision, called for support to expand the human and infrastructural capacity of the institution.
UHAS, being a young university of only 10 years, and developing from an empty plate, is at the stage where we need more staff, both teaching and non-teaching, to add to the motivated and committed staff we already have. It is important to ensure recruitment of quality staff who can meet the needs of students and targets of the various units of the university. We will promote staff development and ensure expedited and rigorous processes that promote fairness in all personnel engagement. It is important for our university to be given special consideration for financial clearance.
President Akufo-Addo pledged government's continued support to the school.
Government has demonstrated its commitment to the growth of the university, and we will help ensure that UHAS fulfills its mandate. I believe that in the new Vice-Chancellor, we have a person capable of not only steering the affairs of the university for the next 4 years, but also sparing it on to even greater heights. I want to let you know that indeed I will be your advocate with the Minister for Finance to get you your financial clearance, to strengthen your capacity to deliver.
The new Vice-Chancellor said she's poised to strengthen community-based service delivery and incorporate technology in training students.
Away from that, the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources responsible for lands and forestry, Benito Owusu-Biyu, has warned individuals and groups winning sand on portions of the Amahia dairy farmlands in Adenta municipality of the Greater Accra region to, as a matter of urgency, halt such illegalities or face possible arrest and prosecution. The Deputy Minister gave the warning when he led a team from the Ministry of Lands Commission and a task force from the Ghana Police Service to inspect the lands on Thursday.
The Deputy Minister announced that government, through the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, will by end of October this year go ahead with the intended plan to allocate 40% out of 1,000 acres of the Amahia dairy farmland to 5 families identified as pre-acquisition owners of the land, while government retained 60%. The visit also afforded the Deputy Minister the opportunity to see at first hand the final work done by the surveyor ahead of the allocation of the 5 families.
This is a warning to them. Anybody who steps here again to come here to win sand here will be arrested and will be prosecuted. This is government land. Why should you destroy it? We've been told that the communities have also put in place measures to stop them from the movement of their trucks through the community, because it's leading to pollution too as well. We will thank them for their action. But then we, as the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources, we are going to ensure that anybody who steps here again to come here to win any sand here will be arrested and prosecuted.
The Deputy Minister used the opportunity to visit some portions of the land being used for the construction of 32 residential bungalows for staff of the Ministry of Agriculture following their relocation from Boteman. The Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, James Datson, stated as part of effort to allocate the portions of land to the families, his outfit, the Ministry and the local assembly will further engage to fashion out scheme to, among others, aid development in the area.
All the plans are ready. So if family A has 10 acres, the plan of that 10 acres is ready. The demarcation has been done. So all that we are going to do is to get their leadership to come on board. We'll do the allocations to them, and then we'll process appropriate titles for them. Then, as you know, the law requires that for every area, before you can do any development, there has to be a scheme. So your development must conform to that scheme. And so we will refer them to the assemblies to ensure that all the areas are planned. Even the area to be retained by government for agric and other state institutions will also be planned before we proceed to do any work within the areas.
You are still watching News Night here on Metro TV. Coming up next is Business with Winston Taki.
It's now time for business, and now to our first business story. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana International and Finance Conference, Selassie Kofi Akom, is urging African leaders of state to consider using cryptocurrency as a form of trading in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The group is also demanding that government maintains active sensitization to give meaning to the project.
The African Continental Free Trade Area was established in 2018 as an economic vehicle to enhance the welfare of African citizens. The Ghana International Trade and Conference in furtherance of the vision has carried out a survey which assessed the views of Ghanaian business community. The group, among other things, noted that over 34% of Ghanaians had no knowledge about AfCFTA. It is therefore urging government to increase sensitization on the project across the country.
The conclusions, we can see that the level of awareness in Ghana about AfCFTA is a bit appreciable. A lot of businesses are aware about AfCFTA, and some of them also don't know about AfCFTA. The agreement needs to be done with the traders and not limited to only trade and industry leaders. Programs done by AfCFTA are mostly targeted at leaders of industries. The Association of Ghana Industry of Traders, if you target these people, they are not the ones who do the exports actually. It is the traders on the ground who do exports. Yet then targeting these people might make you create awareness about AfCFTA to the leaders, but not the people who engage in the business itself. So there's a need for the sensitization to be sent to the decentralized level where the industry players, those who actually import or export, are able to know about AfCFTA and take advantage of the program.
CEO of the Ghana International Trade and Finance Conference, Selassie Kofi Akom, is urging African heads of state to consider cryptocurrency as the currency for trading in the AfCFTA project.
Until His Excellency the President's tenure as the ECOWAS chairman or chairperson had gone through, he had announced the next feasible period where ECO could be realized in West Africa. Until then, we will still be battling with a unitary currency. A reason why our researchers had gone deep to advise then that we look at crypto or blockchain if the unitary currency was still going to take.
Now, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has so far linked some 1.9 million SNIT numbers with the National Identification Authority numbers, that is the Ghana card, saving the scheme about 60 million Ghana cedis that would have otherwise gone into the printing of new cards.
The Social Security and the National Insurance Trust has so far linked some 1.9 million SNIT numbers with the National Identification Authority numbers. This comprises 383,200 pensioners and a lump sum beneficiaries of 1,246,839 active members, as well as some 293,010 inactive members. These are members who have not contributed in the last 12 months. Between June 2021 and June 2022, SNIT deployed its system to allow members to merge their SNIT and NIA numbers as it issued a directive that the Ghana card is the only identification that will be recognized by the Trust in July 2022. This complies with Regulation 7+1 of the National Identity Register Regulations 2012 LI 2111, which requires use of Ghana card as identification for transactions pertaining to individuals in respect of pensions and transactions that have social security implications. According to the Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ofoe-Tekuran, the printing of new biometric cards halted in 2018 in anticipation of the Ghana card, as it cost SNIT more than $7 per card. Since then, SNIT has signed on about 1.2 million people, as well as those who had lost their cards and wanted them replaced. With integration of SNIT numbers with the Ghana card, SNIT intends to leverage the national platform for a more effective and efficient identification system for convenience, ease of doing businesses, eliminating the cost of printing cards, improved claims processing time, and expansion of coverage among others. Meanwhile, the private sector forms 63% of the active members of SNIT, being 1,133,069, with the public sector constituting 36%, being 649,072.
Now, away from that, the wake of growing loss of interest in the use of post offices, the Ghana Post Office has begun an online settle box system to help deliver letters to people in the comfort of their homes.
Already, the traditional post office system around the world is losing because people are growing to more comfortable means of communication. And the regular post office addresses would not necessarily be going to extension. But again, you are looking at a way where you are moving the deliveries beyond a certain number. Your regular post offices provide a certain limitation. So there are people who want post office boxes at cantonments, but I can't expand because I have over 15,000 mailboxes at cantonments, and I cannot increase the mailboxes at cantonments. But with the Scuttle box, every home at cantonments can get a post office box at cantonments. And so this is an addition to the letterbox that already exists, but something that can match up with the demands of the future as we go along. Now, the innovative Scuttle box system is our solution to the cravings of individuals for a more convenient way of communication and receiving parcels and mails. The Scuttle box system is like a post office at your own home or your own business place. And so in the past, where everybody would walk or drive to the post office to access their mails, we are creating a post office right by your doorsteps. And it is linked to our national postal system on the backs of our national digital addressing system, which is the Ghana Post GPS.
That's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. Sports is next with Phil Jonkote.
It's 46 past 19 hours GMT in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. My name is Phil Jonkote, and it's time for your sports. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar countdown has officially started with 100 days to go. The organizers say that they're putting on feverish preparation for the Mundial.
Qatar will mark 100 days to go onto the Men's Football World Cup this week amid uncertainty over the starting date. The World Cup will kick off a day earlier than scheduled. A FIFA's ruling bureau agreed to a plan to hold the opening ceremony and the host nation's first match on Sunday, November 20. A source close to the discussions told Reuters, if the original date remains, then 100 days to go will be on Saturday, August 13. However, if the opening day is moved to 100 days, then it would move to Friday, August 12. The original plan was for the opening ceremony to be held before Qatar's game on November 21 against Ecuador, which created an unusual situation of two matches being held before the ceremony. Normally, the ceremony is conducted before the kickoff of the first game of the tournament. The Group A match between Senegal and Netherlands and Group B match between England and Iran were scheduled to take place before the ceremony on the Monday. The plan has to be voted on by the heads of FIFA's 6 regional confederations and President Gianni Infantino, but despite the late notice, is expected to win support. The switch to a November 20 opening ceremony and the game would allow the Senegal-Netherlands match scheduled for 1 p.m. local time on November 21 to kick off later in the day. The Group B matches on that day, which also include United States versus Wales, would be unaffected. Another source close to the proposal said the switch could be confirmed as early as Thursday, and that the plan was to ensure that fans did not have to pay for any changes to flights or accommodation. The financial impact to fans has been assessed, and that any additional cost to fans will be absorbed by organizers. But it is unclear who will bear these costs, whether it is FIFA, Qatar's Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, or another entity, said the source. There will be an assurance from organizers that any additional cost for fans to change travel bookings or accommodation won't be borne by them, and this will be assessed by case basis, the source added. It was not clear what the mechanism will be to manage any compensation for fans. Qatar will be hosting the first World Cup in the Middle East, the first in a Muslim state, and no other tournament has been ever held in the Northern Hemisphere winter. Qatar, which is roughly the size of Jamaica, is also the smallest state to have held soccer's biggest event, with fans from the 32 competing nations set to watch games at 8 stadiums clustered around the only major city, Doha.
Let's go to Costa Rica, where the national under-20 women's team, the Black Princesses, started the World Cup on a bad note when they were beaten by the ladies from Washington by 3-0. Let's see the highlights now.
And still, Rouse, good ball in, must be, yes! USA lead, and who else but Michelle Cooper to open the scoring for the States. Once again, really good stepping out from the back by Susan Dua, the skipper, leading by example for Ghana. So Ghana are down to 10 players. Here's Cooper. Thompson in the centre. Cooper's ball in, and it's 2-0. Alyssa Thompson with this one. Nice turn by Shaw. Good ball as well, and a great hit that is inches away from Corbin Albert. Thompson in support. It's Sentner. It's 3. Ali Sentner, who's only been on for 5 minutes or so, has extended the USA's lead.
That was how the Americans beat the Ghanaians by 3-0 in an open match of the World Cup currently going on in Costa Rica. Let's bring you some results, then you see who is losing who. But yeah, we'll do that later. Results on your screen. Germany were beaten by Colombia by 1-0. New Zealand and Mexico drew 1-1. It was goalless between Spain and Brazil. Costa Rica, the host nation, were beaten by the Australians by 3-0. Like I told you, Ghana beaten by the Americans by 3-0. Later, the girls from Tokyo will play against Netherlands, whilst France will take on another African country, Nigeria, over there. Well, that's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. Up next, Showbiz.
It's time for entertainment news. Now, marking the 65th anniversary of Ghana's independence and the 20th anniversary of the African Union, Accra's iconic Black Star Square will see live performances from Usher, Caesar, Somzi, Jackie, Hair, Sarkodie, Stonebwoy, and Tems at the Global Citizen Festival. Since it's begun lighting up Central Park's Great Lawn in 2012, the Global Citizen Festival has become the world's longest-running global campaign calling for an end to extreme poverty that unites millions of voices amplified by the world's biggest artists, demanding world leaders take action now. International advocacy organization Global Citizen today announced the lineup for the 10th anniversary Global Citizen Festival taking place in New York City's Central Park, presented by City and Cisco, and Black Star Square in Accra, Ghana, presented by Harith General Partners on Saturday, September 24, 2022. Now, today's Thursdays, and Thursdays are for Throwback. Now, she may have made the headlines in recent times with her rap being known as Big Ivy, but Big Ivy Ajima has been involved in the creative art space for a very long time. For those who may not remember her, today we throw back to a Ghanaian series called Regimental Sergeant Major, produced by Farmhouse Productions.
Ivy Ajima started acting as a student at Ola Senior High School in Ho, and later joined David Donto's drama group Cozy Cozy, where she performed in several stage plays, including the hit drama A Song of a Goat. While in a series that has popped up on social media, Big Ivy, as she is popularly known now, played Magajia in a Ghanaian sitcom known as Regimental Sergeant Major, RSM, which was shot in 2017, produced by Ivan Kwashiga and written by the late Efo Kojo Maugbe. The sitcom also featured the late Emmanuel Ama and actor Fifi Coleman.
Mission to carry on, sir.
Carry on.
Private on the double. Left, right, to the basement. Left, right. Come back here. Left, right. Halt. Private, give me 6.
Oh, mommy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. right. Left, right, 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 left, right.
For many, they are now getting to know Ivy Ajima, now Big Ivy, through her music, but she has been around the creative arts space for a long time.
Regimental Sergeant Major, some members of your regiment are likely to be found missing in love action at Checkpoint Charlie. May I have your permission to dismiss the troops, sir?
That's my boy.
Thank you, sir. Troops on parade, dismiss.
Well, that's it for entertainment news on Newsnight. My name is Harriet Addy-Bright.
It's Big Ivy. I can't love LS. Coming up, it's a look on the international front.
Kenyans crowded round radios and televisions on Thursday, increasingly anxious for news of whom their next president might be, 2 days after voting in an election ended. The East African country's election commission has neither released a running tally of results nor said when it plans to announce the winner, but unofficial and sometimes conflicting media counts show a nail-bitingly close range. South African prosecutors have charged 7 self-employed miners with the rapes of 8 women nearly 2 weeks ago in Krugersdorp, west of Johannesburg. The rapes of the women who were part of a film production crew shooting a music video at an abandoned mine in the area sparked protest and violent attacks against freelance miners known as Zama-Zamas. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken welcomed the engagement in direct talks between Rwanda and the DRC with a view to end tensions between the two countries. Blinken met with Rwandan President Paul Kagame on Thursday to discuss efforts to end tensions between Rwanda and Congo. Both countries face allegations of supporting rebel groups opposed to each other. A 23-year-old man has been arrested following an investigation for suspicion of rape aggravated by drunkenness. Authorities have not released the suspect's name and nationality. The woman, a 27-year-old American female tourist, was raped last weekend in a public restroom in the 4th arrondissement in central Paris.
And thank you so much for watching this night here on Metro TV from our studios here at Rage in Accra, the Akuya Boyma studio on DSTV, channel 277. I am Bright Nakwesi Amani, and the production team was led by Henry Kwesi Berry. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.